If you're struggling with binging on junk food, comfort food, emotional food, whatever you want to call it, then you need to watch this video because at the end of it, I'm going to give you one of the best tools to cope with that and eliminate or at least reduce the escapism through comfort food. But first, I want to tell you my story and how I overcome this. You see, when I was 19 years old, actually, for my first 19 years old, 90 years of my life, I lived in my home country with my family. That's in Romania. And my family was my parents. We lived also with my grandmother, my uncle. We were pretty big family, united. And we were living in a village. We were having friends, family friends over in the weekends and so on and so forth. The point is that I was living together with someone, and it was nice. It is nice. Like I believe in the family unit. I think it's really important for the society. But in after I passed the admission in Denmark, which is the country that I am now, I wanted so much to get here at the college, at the conservatoire. I worked really hard for it. I I was very happy when I passed the admission. I was satisfied. I was proud, and I was very excited to live and begin my new life, a new journey, a new chapter, and experience how it is to live in foreign countries. In the beginning, I was thinking to you that I'm going to live here forever. The thing is that when I came to Denmark, I was excited. I was filled with enthusiasm and adrenaline because everything was wow. Denmark is a first world country. It's the system is incredibly good. It's economics and also the views in the spring and summer. It's amazing. Of course, every country has its own pros and minuses. But in general, in the beginning, I was very excited to be here. Now, what happened, I don't want to talk too much details, but on short, what happened after a few months, I started to feel lonely. And it was because this was a big change, like a 180 degrees change in my life. For the first time, I was living alone, in a dorm. Of course, we have here a common kitchen, but I had my own room and my bathroom, and it's a new culture, new people, different mindsets, different styles, and I I had a hard time connecting, with those from the kitchen. We were having mostly like dry conversations, not nothing deep, nothing it didn't feel natural, and most of the times I was feeling even lonelier than in my room. So when I was surrounding with them in the kitchen, I was feeling actually more lonely than I was in my room when I was alone. And in the beginning, it wasn't that bad because I had activities to do and school and all. But after I got a bit used, after a few months, and and winter started to came, and winter here is pretty hard to hold on. It started to get to me, you know. And then, of course, the pandemic came, everything went upside down, and there's too much to say about that. But the point is that at some in the pandemic, one of the ways that I was compensating the everything, like the whole situation, was Netflix, junk food, and porn. No, that was my way to cope. Of course, I was going to the lessons. It was online, and then sometimes when the society was still open, I was going to my job where I was a tennis coach. But that was my way, and many people were in the same situation. For the first time, I've gained, I think, over 10 kilos. I don't know how much is that in pounds, but it's a lot. I was very, very chubby for the first time, and I was an athlete, and I am an athlete. I was an athlete for my whole life. I did football, tennis, and track running, and all of this. I was very fit all the time and good looking. But that period was I got chubby. 2 years later, I experienced with different diets. As many people nowadays, they start with the vegetarian, the vegan, and all these spiritual things or whatever. And I wasn't aware that much of what I was eating, especially in the weekends, was junk food, processed foods. Even if when I was vegan or these label things, and especially not often, but I was eating sugar at least more than usual. You know, it wasn't because of the pleasure that it was giving me. It was because I wanted to escape from reality. You know, I was medicating something inside me, and food was one of the ways that was beneficial for me to escape that pain and this internal process that was happening inside me. And I paid the price for it. I paid the price with my health. All of a sudden, well, not all of a sudden, but I had food poisoning, and I was so scared, here alone, family far away. I almost called the ambulance, the doctors. I got well, no worries. And then, of course, I started to take care, much better care of myself. I was eating normally, no more vegan, no more vegetarian, just no like whole foods. And I started to do physical exercise again, working out, and living a healthy lifestyle. And of course, I got much better and fit again. Fine, thank God. But I paid the price for that. And the thing is, I wasn't aware that I was medicating with food, you know, this pain. So after a while, after I got fit, I started again to binge. And when I was getting stressed and sad or angry or whatever, any kind of states and without resources and negative emotions, food was one of the ways for me to escape reality. And that's not the healthiest way, you know. And the thing is, when when after a few months, I did a mistake again. I was all of a sudden was eating lots and lots of sugar, you know, and I wasn't feeling good at some point. I got scared. I was having a scare health scare. That's how you call it. Then I started to do some, research and work on myself, and I noticed that all my, you know, problems, all my struggles, I was going for the food to solve, and I wasn't solving anything. In fact, it was making it worse, because you are what you eat. The loneliness was still there, the responsibility was still there, the struggles was still there, everything was still inside, and because I was repressing and trying to run away, it was just coming back stronger and stronger. And it could have gotten worse. So, if you experience this, trust me, I know how it is. You're not alone. We live in a society that it's so easy to get access to instant gratification, instant pleasure. And it feels good in the moment. It gives the illusion that it's helping, but it's not. In most cases, actually, it can get worse. It can worsen the situation, and you can pay the price with your health, and you don't want to get to that point. So what I did was, of course, going inside me and actually solve what I was having to solve. It makes sense, right? Now that you have an understanding, that you are aware of this, junk food is not, well, it's not nutritious food, I would say. You know, it's shit. That's the best way to describe it. The thing is, you have to learn how to cope with the problems, to solve them in a better way, you know. Stop going to drugs, junk food, to Netflix, to porn, to video games, to social media, you know, to all of this, because you're running away from the even the slightest discomfort that you feel. Now, how did I beat this kind of escapism, this kind of bad habits, this vice with the junk food, comfort food? Self-talk. Through self-talk, through addressing my inner demons. And this is the best way to do it. You have to talk with yourself. You have to put the right questions so you can understand what's actually happening. You have to be self-aware of why do you fall into these bad habits. Self-talk is probably the main key to this. I was asking myself, with what purpose? Why do I want to eat this? I don't need this right now. And not ever, you know. I'm not meant to eat this as a human. You know, animals don't eat this. Why should I? Animals don't have, the wild animals don't have the diseases that humans have. There are some questions I was putting myself, you know. Then when I was asking, I was coming up with the answers. Oh, I want to eat this because I feel sad. I feel stressed. I feel angry because, you know, I was to school and that happened. And then I got frustrated and I came home and I had a fight with, I don't know, a friend, or, and then, you know, I want to forget all of that and I want to go to junk food, you know, and I was ordering, you know, burgers and all, and this buff food, and wasting a lot of money and not even eating all of them, you know, and I was feeling so bad. Then I started to address the real issue. I was starting to be aware of what's happening, and I decided that it's time for me to find better ways to deal with those problems, with the loneliness, with the negative emotions, with the responsibilities, with the tasks, with the stress. Clearing actions like taking a walk, meditating, connecting with others, you know, prayer, doing sports, very important, working out, you know, going inside, experience joy. And you know, sometimes I just wanted to have fun, and I was through fun I was just, you know, food and Netflix. No, fun can be in so many ways, much better ways, like going with a friend and play pool, you know. The thing is that when I started to do those alternatives, the cravings for the junk food was disappearing. Interesting, right? And it's not that, um, it's not hard to understand. It's not a shock. So, if you're struggling with junk food or any kind of escapism, any kind of bad habits, addictions, the best way, the best thing you can do for yourself is to talk to yourself, to your subconscious mind. Ask yourself, with what purpose are you doing this? Why? No, what's the good reason? You have a good reason behind, you know, behind every behavior there's a positive intention. Then be willing to to have alternatives, to engage in them. That's what I have for you today. I hope this video helped you and inspired you and give you hope. And if you have any other topic that you want me to address, feel free to leave a comment below and make sure to make a video about it. And don't forget to show some love and support by clicking the like button and subscribe to my channel so I can do more videos like this. Take care. I love you all who are watching my videos, and remember that if one can do it, so can you. No matter what your goal is, you're going to do it if it's important to you. And if you say you can or you say you can't, you're right. So pick your side.